Hi there, reading friends. Welcome once again to my channel. If you have seen any of my videos before, and specifically my last one in which I was traumatized by the darkness that can be fiction. Phew! Yeah, I've chosen to go down a very cozy and calm and romantic theme for this week, just to build me back up again and lift my spirits a little bit. So I took my own advice and I finally went and did that this week. So my first book that I read for this week is called I don't know if you can see that, The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandanna. This is a library book, which is why it's super shiny. Apologies if you can't see it properly. This was a recommendation that I found for light, happy reading on somebody else's post. I think from over a year ago, maybe a couple of years ago actually. But yeah, she was overly enthusiastic about this one. Called it a must read. So this is why I picked this one up. I'm so very glad that I did. It is exactly what I needed to lift my spirits. This one is a magical speculative fiction novel about a girl called Mika Moon, who is a witchy orphan that is brought up by a set of nannies. And she's been told in no uncertain terms that she cannot relay who she is as a witch or her magical abilities to anybody for the safety of both herself and her sister witches across the land. So she's been in hiding with that secret ever since, until she finds an advert to be a tutor to 3 children in the countryside who just so happen to also be witches, that she finds out when she goes to teach them. And the story is a really cute, cozy hug of a novel about trust, friendship, and the importance of family and togetherness, and what it means to make connection with others. And it was lovely, absolutely lovely, with a little smattering of witchy magic, as you can imagine. So I absolutely ate this one up. It was great. As I said, it was exactly what I needed to just be a nice, easy read in the calm, cozy realm. And that's exactly what this provided. The only thing that bothered me ever so slightly, because of course it is a romance, so there is, well, I wouldn't have said it took front line seat actually, this romance, but it was cute nonetheless. But it did lean, the bonding between those 2 main characters did lean heavily upon drinking alcohol in order for them to get on, which I thought was a bit of a strange concept. But regardless, beyond that, it was a lovely read, and I would recommend it if you're looking for something light-hearted and cute and cozy. So yeah, absolutely, I enjoyed this one. So that was my first read, and with that theme, I wanted to carry that on rather than just go on a plain romantic vibe, which I do have another romantic novel, and I was itching to pick it up, and I stopped myself because I wanted to stay on the speculative fiction type genre. So the other book that I took, which is another recommendation, I think it might have been from the same booktuber actually, but I have in fact seen it on the shelves of a few other people, so I gathered that it was quite a good one. Is called Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. Now, this one, it's a historical romance based in the UK, in London with the ton, with a wee magical tilt. So it's kind of got that balance of different things going on. So it's not a straight historical fiction romance novel. It does have that magical element as well. So this story is, our main protagonist is called Dora Ettings. She was cursed by a fairy, and he stumbled across her in childhood and attempted to steal her soul as part of a bargain that he had made with somebody. So he attempted to steal her soul, but only managed half of that, magical thing experience. And he was thwarted by Dora's cousin, who came along and managed to prevent the process from taking place fully. So they've escaped from the fairy, but the problem is she does now only have half a soul, because he did succeed in taking half of it. And the half that he took was her emotional side of her soul personality. And so she finds it really challenging growing up, not having that. She has a minor sense of emotions, but she can't really delve into them at all, doesn't understand things in the same way that other people do. And she takes her cues from other people as to how she should act and what she should say in certain situations, because she clearly is disabled as a result of what happened to her in childhood. And people treat her really badly as a result. And her one person that stands by her wholeheartedly is her cousin, who appears to be a lovely, lovely girl. And then they go on their little trek through to London for her cousin to be thrust upon the marriage market and mingle among the ton. It's not for the benefit of Dora, given what her issues are, which is a shame. They do treat her as a complete half person, as it were, which is awful. But it's interesting that the way that she is treated as a result of what she's going through, and you see very much everything through Dora's eyes. But it's great. She meets a magician while they're in London. And the banter between her and the magician, especially at the beginning, it was so engaging, and you could hear the intelligence and the wit in the dialogue. Absolutely loved it. It was great. Again, exactly what I needed to kind of lift me up a little bit. My only stalwart with this one is that although it was great and the pacing was good, up until the end, where I feel like she was told, look, you need to finish this within X number of pages, and it all kind of went and all the loose ends got tied up, which is fine. The loose ends were all tied up and it was lovely. I just felt that the pacing of that part was slightly different from the pacing of the rest. But don't let it put you off, because she was great at putting together a great wee story. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and again, I just ate it up. It really didn't take me too long to get through, like a couple of days tops. I was reading it on my lunch breaks from work and whatnot. But yeah, another one that I would actually wholeheartedly recommend. So yes, I feel better now that I have had that balance readdressed, as it were. So that's my two books that I have read this week. I'm not sure where to go from here. I think I might go for something completely different. Again, reestablish this balance, go to something completely different, tune back in to see where I go with that. Thanks once again for joining me on my little voyage of different genres and my journey of delving deeper into my reading. It's a journey. It is a journey, and it's not, reading isn't just for pure enjoyment, to stay on a one track not for me anyway at the moment, staying on one track of reading what you like, because you know that that's what you like. And actually what I found is that when I've delved off onto different paths, it's made me appreciate all the more some of the things that I do enjoy, but then has also counter to that, has made me give up on a couple of books that I thought I would really enjoy, because they have felt a bit shallow in comparison to some of the others that I have read whilst doing these videos. So it's interesting so far, I have to say. So if you've read either of these books, once again, if you've got any thoughts about this or any recommendations for me, that would be amazing. Feel free to leave a comment. Once again, thanks again for stopping by, and hope to see you soon. Thanks very much.